What's going on, guys? I'm Dan. This is Scented Waters, and today we have a review for you from the House of Fragrenza. But before we go any further, how about you hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and hit that bell. So a few months ago, I made a review on a house, a fairly new house at the time, Fragrenza, and they had a lot of good inspirations, clones, whatever you want to call them, but they also had their original creations. But at that time when I made that review, they did send me one of their original creations and I forgot to do the review on it, and that's my fault. But here's my take on it now, and it's called Venice Seduction. This is not the original presentation. They do come in a bigger bottle, but I will put a picture up so you can see what it actually looks like. Venice Seduction is considered a woman's fragrance, so this review is for the ladies. So before we get into the actual review, how about I give you the notes? So for the top notes, you have cardamom and dry fruits. And for the mid notes, you have night blooming tuberose, saffron flower, and tobacco flower. And for the base, you have patchouli leaf. Out of all the fragrances that they have in their line, they do have a lot of inspirations, but this one, Venice Seduction, is one of their original creations, and it's considered an oriental spicy. On first sniff, the dried fruits and the cardamom are a big time player in this fragrance. It is a woman's fragrance, and it does sit very well for a woman. I don't really think this is a unisex fragrance. It is classified as a woman's fragrance, but there are a lot of fragrances that are classified as women's, but work great for men as well. But this one, I feel, leans more for the women. The cinnamon becomes a little bit more prominent in it as it dries down. And as it dries down, the dried fruits are still there and it is very present, but the cinnamon and cardamom are more of the star players in this fragrance to me. It is a very pleasant fragrance. It's a fragrance that I don't feel that should be sprayed very heavy. It's a warm weather type of fragrance, not really for the heat, like the summer, the spring, or anything like that, or hot type of temperature. This fragrance, I don't feel it works great for the outdoors, but as an office fragrance, a date night fragrance, all around everyday type fragrance, but for the cooler atmosphere, like if you're talking about like maybe a cool night on a fall, a winter, or even like a date night, this would work great. Now, the ages that I feel that this fragrance would work great for would be 25 and up. It does lean a little bit more mature, not anything like a teenager would wear or even someone in college, but someone that has their stuff together, like a businesswoman or even just a serious woman. It's not, I don't feel it's too playful. The dried fruits make it somewhat a little bit playful, but the cinnamon and cardamom and whatnot give it a more sophisticated type of scent. I like it. It is a very pleasant type of fragrance. I've had my daughters test this out. They're very young. I feel that this one doesn't really work for them, but they like the scent, so I let them wear it anyways. And it might seem a little bit too grown up for them, but if they like it, they like it. The projection on this was about 1.5 to 2 hours, and the longevity, especially on my daughters, was about 7 to 8 hours. So I sprayed it on them in the morning time before going to school, and even after they came home from school, I can still smell this on their clothing. A little bit less on their skin, obviously, but it was still there as a good skin scent. Once again, I feel like this is more of a cool weather type of fragrance. So now that we're in like late fall, early winter, especially here in Florida, more of the transition between fall and winter, this fragrance works great for it. Now, if we're talking about the heat, like spring and summer, those warmer type weathers, I don't think this really would work great, especially in the indoor atmosphere, where if you're in a warm temperature, anything like about 75 and up, this would be too cloying unless you're light on the trigger. Situations I think that this fragrance would work great for would be maybe a date night fragrance, office fragrance if you light on the trigger, cool weather, like I said before, not really too much of an outdoors type of fragrance or hot weather. The amount of sprays that I think would work great, especially for the cool weather, 3 to 4 sprays you should be set. If you're wearing it in warmer temperature, maybe 1, maybe 2 might be pushing it. On Fragrenza's website, this fragrance only comes in a 1 size, and I'm not sure if they sell travel sizes or even samples, but the bottles they sell for 70 bucks. I think $69.99, 70 bucks. All in all, a rating 1 out of 10. I give this a good 7. My girlfriend doesn't really like it because she's not really into the spicy fragrances, but myself, I am. My daughters like this fragrance as well. It is considered an oriental spicy, so once again, if you're into that genre of fragrances, this might work good for you. For a niche type fragrance, it's only like 70 bucks for a 60 ml bottle, which most niche or even designer fragrances run even higher. So get your nose on this one. Fragrenza does have a few more original creations, which I have not checked yet, but their inspirations are great, good quality. I have their Creed Ventus version, and they're also their Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette version, which I feel are great fragrances. They do last long on me, so this one also lasts long. especially for women. So as an original creation from Fragrenza, I do feel that this is a good start off original fragrance that they have. I think this is one of the first original ones that they've had, and this one I feel is a good pickup for those that like the spicy type fragrances. So there you go, guys. That's my take on Venice Seduction from Fragrenza. Let me know in the comment section, have you smelled anything from this house? Have you smelled Venice Seduction? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and hit that bell. Venice Seduction from Fragrenza, pretty good fragrance. But at the end of the day, still scented water.